Okay, so in this little video we'll talk about the safety, and I'll show you around the lab. You're going to watch the ACS safety video, so you'll get a little bit more in-depth information about how to handle chemicals in there. But this video is mainly about showing you around your lab. Okay, so you're comfortable when you come in and you know your way around. Okay, because you eventually will need to know everything in there. So first of all, let me start with your equipment. So you'll have this book with you. You need this book every single time you come in, because this has the pre-lab, your lab report, your post-lab, everything is in here. Okay, so you need to have this with you every single time. I don't take copies, nothing else. You can't share it with anybody, so you need to have your own copy of this. Okay. The other things you need regarding the safety is, of course, you need to have a lab coat with you on all the time. I'm a stickler for safety. Okay, so if you don't follow any of these rules, I cannot allow you in the lab. All right, so you have to have a lab coat with you all the time. You need to have a pair of goggles. So we have 2 approved goggles for us. So there's this kind, and then there is this kind. And if you have a long life in chemistry, like you're taking Gen Chem 1 and 2 and then organic, you might as well invest in one of these. This is called the VisiGogs. These are considered to be a little bit more comfortable than these ones, but honestly speaking, get whichever one. If neither of them works for you, let me know and we can figure something out. Maybe get you a face shield or something, I don't know, but let me know. But one of these things you should have with you when you come in. During this time, you also will have to wear a face mask. Okay, so we're trying not to get too close to each other. If it's crowded in the lab, there's not much I can do, but we can protect ourselves. So wear a face mask all the time while you're here, for me, for you, for your friends. Then for your clothing, in addition to having the lab coat, you need to have full pants. Okay, so cover all the legs. As much as I would like to, I don't want to see your ankles. Okay, so no ankles, nothing like that. You can't see any of my ankles. You have shoes, you should have socks also. If you have short socks like this, don't. Okay, don't. Make sure you have ankle length or even higher than that. Okay, so you cover everything, because you'll be working with chemicals. You never know when something is going to spill. All right, so you just want to protect yourself. So don't wear nicest shoes in the lab. Wear something like sneakers or cotton shoes. Those are always good for you. So make sure everything is covered. If you have long hair, this is short hair, it's not too long. If you have long hair, you need to tie that. Okay, because we're working with fire, and if you ever smell burnt hair, it's not good. It's not safe. It doesn't smell good either. So let's not have long hair open in the lab. So tie your hair when you come in. Goes for anybody, boys and girls both. Okay, all right. And then there's no eating or drinking in the lab. I also prefer no chewing gums in the lab. Okay, because you're chewing chemicals then, so try not to have anything in your mouth. Okay, when you come in, dress safely, dress nicely. Working in the lab is it's a safety thing. Okay, so just be careful. All right, that is regarding your personal safety thing. Now let's go around in the lab. So I'm just going to walk you through. So your entry point is going to be here for most part. So when you come in, you can go to your spot, wherever it is. If you have any space underneath your desk, you can keep your bag there, or you can keep it at the front. Okay, so it will be safe over here by the board. You don't want any of the bags to be in any of the aisles. You don't want any bags, actually I don't want them either, on the bench. Okay, because you need the space on the bench to work. All right, so you don't want anything on the benches. So keep everything over here. Everything is going to be safe. If you leave anything behind, I'll pick it up. It's okay. You can get it from me next time. All right, but everything goes in the front. So this is that. Now let's walk over here a little bit. So this is going to be your glass waste. Okay, over here. So at some point you're going to break something, and that's okay. So when you break something, you have to clean it up yourself. Usually I don't do it for you, because you should learn how to do it. So in any case, so we'll have a dustpan for you on the side. If you want, I can help you, and I always help you, because sometimes you can't see the small pieces of glasses, so I have to kind of walk around with you, and that's the reason why we don't kneel in the lab also. Okay, so no kneeling allowed in the lab, because might be glass pieces there. So broken glass goes over here, regular trash goes over here, no exchange going on. Okay, so no glass in the regular trash, and no paper towels in the trash, in the glass trash. Okay, so be careful with that, and be good also, because don't cut yourself. Okay, if you break something, be good, okay? Don't try to lift anything with your hands. It's not worth it, all right? Because I don't want you to get cut. We'll get a dustpan and whatnot and clean it up, okay? So safety is important. Okay, speaking of safety, here is the blanket, fire blanket, and so I've been teaching for about 25 years now. I've never had to use it, and I would like to not use it, okay, as well. So here's the fire blanket. You just pull it out from here and you use it. We do use Bunsen burners, okay, in the lab, but we've never had a fire, and I don't want to have a fire, okay, so we'll be very good with our Bunsen burners and all our heating techniques. So we should not have to need it, but we have it, okay? If we need it, the fire blanket, this is emergency, just don't touch it, don't look at it. Just, I know it's red, but don't look at it. All right, so then here is, of course, your entry point. If you watch any James Bond movies, you know what Q tells James Bond is always know your exits, okay, when you go in somewhere. So here's your exit. You can come, you can go out this way if you want to. There is an exit on the opposite side, but it goes to another lab, okay, which is fine. If you want to run away, you know, you need to find the exits, okay. So there is another one on the other side, but hopefully you won't need any of those. Okay, so then over here in this corner, we have the shower. Definitely not for you to take shower if you haven't taken one at home, but if you get spill on yourself, or you have a fire and you want to, you know, use the shower, you can. It works. We check it all the time. Again, we don't use it, so we don't know. We don't want to find out. So let's be safe. But here is the shower. Here is the eye wash, and again, we've never had to use it because you're all going to wear goggles all the time, all right? So you're never going to have to use the eye wash, but we do have the eye wash over here as well. Fire extinguisher, we have this as well, so in case we need to. Now for the fire extinguisher, you need to know just two things over here. First of all, you don't use it, I use it, okay? Or a lab manager uses it. So it's not something for students to play around with. So if there's a fire, something like that, you yell out for me and I can use it. Because the second thing is that once you use it, you can't reuse it. It's done, okay? And so we're very careful about when we need to use the fire extinguisher, all right? So, but if we have it over here, the dustpan will be here too, you know, when we need it. You don't need any of these cabinets because this is where we keep our equipment and extra glassware, but if you do need something and I say, oh, go to the cabinet and get it, well, the cabinet is over here, okay? So you can always get extra stuff here. Don't hoard anything. You don't need to hoard anything at all because everything is available to you and it's there for everybody, okay? So you have the clamps, you have the Bunsen burners, everything is here for you. So you don't need to hoard anything. We have a lot of students in this lab and they all need to use stuff, okay? So be good about this. All right, so coming over here then, here's some extra glassware also, like measuring cylinders and whatnot. So sometimes we need to work with dry glassware. In that case, I suggest, well, take one, it's okay. But if you take one, make sure you put it back before you leave, okay? So again, no hoarding, okay, of anything like that. Usually you will find all the chemicals set up over here. Most of the time it will be over here or it will be in the hoods, and we'll go over there in a minute. But otherwise, most of the time you'll be over here, okay? So you want to be careful when you come here. You don't form a crowd and you let people work, okay, one by one, and don't, you know, I don't know, get into each other's faces. Here we have some drawers with stuff which you will need to get into, so they're labeled here for you. So when you use a burette, for example, you're going to need this clamp, which is a burette clamp. So, you know, you can get it from here. Just put it back in the same drawer that you find it in. Think of it as your second home, okay? So you don't want to mess up your home, you don't want to mess up the lab. So here are ring clamps. No, these are not ring clamps, these are just regular clamps over here. And so this is ring stand clamps, not ring clamps, ring stand clamps. So here you can find some more on this side. So, you know, this stuff everywhere here for you. This is going to be the ice chest if we need some ice, which we do for a few labs. So it's going to be over here. I haven't explained these things to you, these round things that are sitting on the bench. These are called centrifuges. You are going to use the centrifuge, you know, twice, I think, 2 or 3 times in this lab, and then you will use it eventually later also in organic. So that's a centrifuge, and when we get there, I'll open one up for you so that way you can see what everything is. I think that's all there is to show here. Then here are balances for you. The rule of the balance is that you keep it clean, okay? Because if you don't keep your balance clean, your data is not going to be good. If your data is not good, well, what's the point of being in the lab then? So doing your experiments. So make sure you clean everything. We have the brushes here for you. So you remove this, you remove that, you clean everything out, okay? Because the more dirty you keep it, the worse your data is going to be, okay? So you want to be a good scientist, you have to start with clean stuff, all right? So these are weighing boards for you to use as this little spatulas. I would suggest you bring your own spatula. These are pretty small. Okay, so in any case, balances over here. These are hoods. The hoods generally suck up all the toxic vapors. So this is actually a very safe environment to be in as far as the air circulation is concerned. You will find some chemicals over here. We will work in the hood also 2 or 3 times, because some of the chemicals we use are going to be a little toxic and they vaporize a lot, so we don't want to smell the vapors too much, so we'll put them over here. So you'll have to share the hoods with other people. Whatever is in there, don't use without me telling you to use something, okay? All right, so the spill kits are down here. Generally, we don't need to use spill kits because I don't give you big bottles, okay, to work with. So you will have small bottles to work with when you pour out your substances, your chemicals. But otherwise, the spill kits are over here for acids and bases and all that. Okay, so let's come over here then. And you will see on the side here, these are the sinks, and of course, one of the unfortunate parts of chemistry lab is washing glassware. Okay, so that's something you always have to do before you leave. So here you wash your glassware. So you will see that there is a tap. Of course, we have the regular tap. We also have distilled water. So I just want to tell you that you wash your glassware with tap water. When you want to use water for your experiments, you use distilled water. You don't need distilled water to clean your glassware, okay? Unless you're doing an experiment in it, which requires that, okay? So otherwise, just wash your glassware with the regular water. And the one thing that you absolutely should not do with your glassware is you should not dry it up, okay? So don't use paper towels to just kind of dry everything out. Don't do that. Just shake it out, keep it in your drawer. It will be dry by the time you come back, because when you use paper towels to dry your glassware, it actually leaves fibers behind and it will be dirty, okay? So you don't want to do that. I'll remind you of that if I see anybody doing it, but you really don't want to use the paper towels to do that. But that's your waters, sinks. You'll have to share, of course. So let me show you the centrifuge a little bit so you have an idea of what it looks like. I have a video on it anyway, but here's the centrifuge, and you open it this way, and then you have it inside as well, okay? And so that's where you put the test tubes in this little test tube casing, all right? So that's how it goes. So you will use it a couple times, and we'll go over that again. So that's that. You should not need to open any of these cabinets at any point, so don't even think about what's in there. Let's see. Okay, so this hood over here, the last one, this is going to be your chemical waste. One of the things that we as chemists are very careful about is that we don't discard any kind of toxic material down the drain. So we try to throw everything in a waste container. Okay, so all the waste containers will be here. Now when you have to throw something, okay, whether it's a solid or a liquid, all right, and you're thinking, should I throw it in the sink? Should I throw it in the waste container? If you're having that debate with yourself, waste container, okay? So sometimes you just have the extra water which can go down the drain, but if you're having even a little bit of a debate in your mind, what I should do, it goes in the waste container. The waste container is full, you let me know, I'll get you another one, okay? But everything goes in the waste container. So that's that. Then here's some of your equipment you will be using during the lab. So you have burettes, you have the stands over here for the burettes and everything else too. Here you will find all the balances, so we have spaced them apart for you so you don't run into each other. You might have to share some chemicals at some point, but otherwise, you know, the balances are over here. So there are 2 over there and there are 4 over here, and I think, yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's pretty good stuff. All right, so that's that. And here are gloves for you to work with. Now, I don't want you to fear so much about chemistry that you wear gloves even when you're working with water, unless you're trying to protect your water from dryness or something like that. That's a different thing. But I don't want you to be scared of chemicals. If you get a little spill on yourself, you just wash with water. Okay, that's it. That's really the main remedy for everything that you have in the lab, is just to wash with lots of water. It goes also with ingesting chemicals. You would just drink a lot of water and you'll be fine. But we do have the gloves here for some of the labs because they are toxic chemicals and you don't want to get anything on your hands. So you're most welcome to use these, but again, I don't want you to be afraid of chemicals. All right, we have sinks here also, including on the other side. One thing I want to remind you of, and sometimes we forget to do this, is wash your hands before you leave. Okay, so I see a lot of times students will clean their benches before they leave, which you have to clean your bench. So when you clean your bench, you just leave. Well, that's dirty hands, So come back here, clean your hands, wash your hands. There's soap, and then you can go. All right, be safe. That's the most important thing. Hand sanitizer is there. This is kind of my space on this side. When you'll be submitting your work, you'll probably be submitting over here, but I usually just sit around here. Because I got nothing to do. No, I'll be working, but in case you need me, you find me in this corner, or I'll be walking around, watching you all work and making sure you're all safe, okay, with everything that you do. You also have these spaces on your benches, which has a lot of material on it. I know you will not remember everything that I tell you right now. So as we go through the labs, I will remind you again what everything is, but of course you can see the distilled water bottles are there. There's filter paper, there's pH paper. So as you need stuff, I'll tell you. You will also have paper towels, hot heating or hot gloves, whatever you would call these. And then there is the paper, the wash towels here for you to wipe down your benches. So everything is there for you on here. I don't like wastefulness, but of course feel free to use anything you want to from here. So then coming here, we do have the first aid kit, but I have to be honest with you, my first aid capabilities are limited to Band-Aids. That's it. That's all I can do. I don't think I can even handle blood that much. Okay, so let's be careful, let's be good. Small cuts, okay, small burns, okay, let's not do more than that, okay? So be safe when you're working here, and if you get hurt, you have to let me know, okay? There is absolutely no reason why you should not tell me that you're hurt, because you don't want to expose anything inside to chemicals, all right? So you need to wash your hands, you need to let me know, and if you need to leave, then you need to leave, okay? But if there's something we can do to fix it, then we'll fix it here, okay? So you don't miss a lab. But otherwise, we'll be safe. I think we'll be safe over here. Let's see what else. I don't think I have anything else more to tell you except to be safe. I want you to be self-aware when you're here, which means that know your own health, okay, that you are healthy, you're feeling good. As I was walking around, you probably noticed there is absolutely no place for you to sit, okay, in this lab. So if you're not feeling well, and I'm not talking about COVID, if you're not feeling well, you should not be in the lab, okay? That's as easy as it goes. The labs are 3 hours long, so which means you should be prepared to stand for 3 hours. Generally, we will finish before 3 hours, but that's maximum you should prepare for, okay? And so your health needs to be good. If you're feeling sick, you don't want to come, you need to let me know in advance, or at least submit your materials, whatever you need to do. I do have a chair here, which you are most welcome to use. If you feel like you can work, but you just need to sit down for a while, or you broke a leg and you need to sit down and do your lab, that's fine, okay? That's totally allowed. So, but you just tell me at that point. If you're allergic to any chemical, you need to tell me. If you're falling sick, if you're smelling something, just be aware of yourself, okay, and what you're feeling, your health, your body, so that you're feeling good, okay, when you're here in the lab. Safety is the most important thing. If there is anything I missed, I will probably yell out in the lab, okay, as I always do, but otherwise I will see you in lab. Be safe, be good.